I noticed in my grocery shopping, because I didn't have anything because I was leaving on vacation, so I wasn't stocked up. So when I came back yesterday, I went grocery shopping, and I noticed all of the processed foods. There was much less desire on my part to pick them up. So I think that in itself will be very helpful. Um, and today I had a yogurt, went to physical therapy, came back, had one of those small containers of raspberries, and got so busy I didn't have time to eat. And I wasn't starving or shaking, or it wasn't a huge problem. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to eat, but it wasn't painful.
I remember when you came in here and you didn't know how you were going to do without food.
No. I mean, just, I thought about that, and I thought, I'm the oldest of 6 children. And in my house, if you didn't get there and eat it, you didn't get any. I mean, nobody was like saying, here, let's set this aside for you. You either got there and ate it or you were out of luck.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that fear of scarcity played into that.
Yep.
And being afraid that I wasn't going to be getting enough food, which is silly, but I guess it's what you learn.
It's the way it's the way we're indoctrinated into life.
Yeah.
We have these beliefs, and these beliefs become our behaviors.
Yes. Yes.
And then our behaviors aren't serving us, and we go, well, this is what I believe.
Yes. In order to not be hungry, I have to have this much food.
Yep.
And I found out I really didn't need that. But the thing that I find strange is, before, when I didn't have enough food, I would get shaky, and that isn't happening.
Yep. When you would get hungry in the past, what you had is a sugar low.
You're right. You're right.
Your glycemic
Would drop.
went down,
Yeah.
and you didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I would literally get woozy and shaky.
Yep.
And that led me to think I have to have a certain volume of food, or I was going to get that feeling. But it's more what you eat than the volume, right?
If you ever get to go to the paleo diet, you will find you'll eat far less. You'll never, ever, 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 well, maybe occasionally, be hungry.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
It's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
You don't have to race anywhere. You don't have to have lunch at noontime or dinner at 5 or
Right.
breakfast at 4.
Right. It's when your body, when you feel you need to eat, rather than being
Yep.
driven by, I gotta have this food or I'm gonna be shaking.
And then you look at these processed foods and you say, there's no appeal there. And
I can't completely say there's no appeal, but it's certainly, if there is an appeal, I don't have to eat like you said, I don't have to eat very much of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Now, when you're back more and you're getting in, now you're back here more,
Yeah.
and getting into your
Routine.
you're going to find that you can have that processed food, but you're going to go, what did I eat that for?
Yeah.
Why in the world did I do that?
Yeah.
That doesn't taste that good.
Yeah.
And you'll put it down, and maybe you'll put it back. You'll put it in the refrigerator. You'll put it back on the shelf. And then one day you're going to say, it's really kind of dumb that I have it there.
Because I don't want it. Yeah. Yeah. This is good. This is because you're not being driven by rules. You're making your own. You're making what works for you, and eating only what you need to eat.
Yep. Yep.
Which is really good.
Yep. And before you know it, you're going to be down there. You know it now already.
Yeah. And what's most important to me is the health piece of it. If I'm not eating that stuff, I feel better, and hopefully as I lose, I'll get more energy too.
Well, you're a very smart person. You work, you I'll give it to you very, very simply. It's an equation. You have your body, you have an autoimmune system. If you put crap in there, guess what the autoimmune system is going to work on?
You don't like this. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't, guess whose health's going to improve? It's
Yeah.
just that simple. It's that one piece of energy that is being misdirected,
Yeah.
and now it can be directed back to your health. And it
Yeah.
knows how to do that all by itself. You don't need to know, nothing, know how to.
Yeah.
That's my good English talking.
Yeah. So it is like a self-reinforcing cycle.
Exactly.
The more you don't have the processed food, the less you eat, the more your body says this is good, and the less you want it.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I wouldn't have believed it. No, I wouldn't have.
Good. Good. Do you see any challenges?
Just the tape, having the CD instead of an MP3, that will help, because then I'll be able to go through the full cycle without
Yeah.
having to push buttons.
How did you do eating out when you were out? You were sharing with someone?
She didn't really want to share food, but I found if I looked carefully, well, for instance, we went out one night. I had a steak. It wasn't a big one.
Petite.
Yeah, it was a small steak,
Yep.
and which was good. I didn't feel cheated. I was like, this is the right size. And then instead of the potato and the bread, I asked if I could have one pass through the salad bar. So that way I was able to not have all the garbage.
Yep.
Just eat what I wanted. It was mostly vegetables.
And I'll bet something. I'll bet when you got up the next day, you felt good.
Yeah, and I don't really drink. I mean, I'll have a drink now and again, but so no alcohol and eating better food. We were up at 6 in the morning. We were on the road by 9, and we were in the park by 9:15. So, that said to me, by having, they had a breakfast in the hotel, so I could go select just what I wanted. So I just had scrambled eggs and whatever meat.
Yep.
And I had no bread. And I feel so much better when I don't eat bread, and I don't eat potatoes, and I don't eat all that other stuff.
Yep.
My body says this is better. Yeah.
Cool.
So challenges would be, I didn't have so much the first week because there's no food in the parks. So I had brought a little cooler, so we put water and some small things to eat. So we had breakfast at the hotel, carried, like a cheese stick and I forget what else I had, some nuts and something else. So it wasn't a big lunch, and then we had dinner. So that wasn't hard. I did have a more difficult time when we were at this conference. Once again, they had breakfast at the hotel, so I could just do the eggs and the meat and leave everything else. But those meetings were really long and very boring, and they piled candy and cookies and every piece of junk food you can think of in the back of the room for everybody to
Indulge.
eat. So I kept it small. I had 2 cookies and a piece of candy. So I didn't run back there all the time eating it. But I knew you should be eating this crap.
Yeah.
But they had no fruit. They had nothing healthy. So that was a challenge.
Yep.
And then, what did I do for dinner? We went out for dinner as a group, and I didn't find that difficult either. I had fish with some vegetables. It's not that hard if you just stay away from the bread and the potatoes and all the starchy stuff.
Yep.
So I didn't find that difficult. I was trying to remember if we did have a dessert. I had a small thing of ice cream, but it wasn't like I overindulged.
You know,
I didn't feel like I needed a really big tub of it.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah. I told you the story about the Jimmy Scoop Fund. Did I tell you that? And the Dana-Farber has a the
In
Jimmy's-
Boston? Yeah.
Boston Dana-Farber Jimmy
Super
Fund
Bowl or
Scoop.
something like that?
And for a fixed price, you go in, and
Yeah.
all the ice cream vendors are there, and
Yeah.
they're all giving away their ice cream.
Yeah.
And you can see people that's been there for days. You know, they're drooling down. They look like hell.
Yeah.
Their bodies are shot to hell. And then you see people like me. Well, there were a few. You know, you get a cup, you have a bite.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. Get another cup, have another bite.
Yeah.
That was a great day.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. You do pay for it. You have to pay an entrance fee, and then you can go around and get whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah.